Good afternoon. I am going to show how custom assets make it easy to create a code-free health resource for your game. First, let's start with the scene. Next, create a custom asset to store the character health. For convenience, we'll start with full health. The float custom asset also includes a range, which we will find useful later. Now for the visual, we'll start by creating a canvas. And an empty object called HealthBar. Let's create an image for the background and call it red. Sorry, we'll make it red. We'll duplicate this one for the foreground and make it green, just to be pretty. The foreground is the only active component. We're going to reduce the scale so that the background shows through. Since transform doesn't expose its data, we will use a connector. Connectors, rectangular transform. Let's try that again. A connector in itself does nothing, but it exposes all the data in the transform. And we need a float driver to change the data when our health system asset changes. So drivers, float driver. This is where we hook them up. So now it knows what it's looking at. We also need to set the component value. In the rectangular thing, we have a scale X, which is the only one we're interested in right now. We created the scale scene for two reasons: so that we can tweak our health bar before adding it to our project, and so that we can add manual and automatic testing. We need to add a component to drive the health bar. Fortunately, the UI has a slider that works great. So we'll put it inside, or just outside the bounds. UI slider. do our usual. There we go, so it's outside of the unit to look at. Simple as pie to hook them up. For the slider, on the value change, take the health custom asset, drop it in there, and of course we want to change the value. Let's run it up and see what happens. Have I made a mistake? Nope. There we go. They work directly. To finish up, let's write a quick Unity test. It will run in the Unity test runner and drives our visual test slider directly. Play mode tests provides a support function to make sure the scene is in the build settings so it can be run. We only need a single method to test the integrity of the health function. You'll need to reference the slider control and the foreground to check the results. Set the slider to match the health starting value. The local function to set and check the value of the health. Note the wait. It could be 1 frame, but I've made it longer so we can see the test happening. First we check the bounds. Then we ramp up to make sure that it all matches. Now let's just do some random ones in case change of direction could be a problem. I guess we better run it to see. Note that I've said testing slider here and just slide it there, so we better change that before we try it. Oops. Okay, so we go to the test runner. We'll notice it's an example. HealthBar transcript. It only has one test to run. Filling it all the way up, doing the random tests, and happily says all is good.